Hallo Klickenabendler, wir sind Essen auf der Spiel 2024 bei Devir. Und next to me is Ricardo, and I have to remember his face next year. Hi Ricardo.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, a little bit tired on the last day. We have here a new game, it's called Cities. It's one of the novelty of Devir, and it will come out at Cosmos next year in Germany.
Right, that's it. In a few months it will be available in German. The game is the same, the cities might be the same, but in German language, and this is a language-dependent game.
It's a game from Phil Walker Harding and Steve Finn, and it's about city building, I guess.
Yes, it is. And inside the box you can already find 8 different cities, so all over the world. So there's one in each of the countries that is present inside the box. And here we are also released the Essen promo for whoever buy the game. And in the back side, because the cities are double side, on the other one you have Indianapolis, so it was premiered at Gen Con, and you have here in Essen too.
All right, cool. So how does the game work?
Well, it's extremely easy. The game is very simple, as is tradition of the authors. But in this game, the most important thing is that it's simple to play, but players feel that they're playing a grown-up game. So it's kind of the next step for the families, but in fact is an extreme gateway game. You're going to have 8 workers, and you're going to use only 4 if you're playing with 3 or 4 players. So 8 workers is for 2-player game only. So we may split, take it away. Then we have 4 lines in the board. Let's say this line, that line, and that line. Each line has 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. The rightmost, when you're facing the board in front, is also a surprise. So it's a hidden card, and this one is going to be hidden too. And over here, we're going to lay those tiles, and that one is going to be hidden, while the other ones are revealed. So as you can see, there's complete different lines, because the first line is with cards, the second with filled tiles, the third with decorations, let's say, and the fourth, it's buildings. During the game, you have for each round 4 workers, and each worker must be placed in a different line.
Okay.
So for example, if I'm starting player, I may go for an objective that suits perfectly my game. And then the next player might also goes for an objective or want to take first pick of one of the other lines. Which is important is that at the end of each round you have 1 character of yours on each line.
So that means every person will get one of the last in one of the lines.
Yes, and it's going to take a card, a field, a decoration or more, and some buildings. Whoever takes this last plot of buildings is going to take 2 random from the bag, a dark clothes bag, solid one, and is going to keep the star with him. And the star means you're going to be the starting player in the next turn. So for what do you want that? We all start with 1 tile like this with a different back, and each of the starting has some water, some grass, and some construction sites. Construction sites can be of 3 different colors, like here, and the green one. So there's 4: blue, red, yellow, and green. Every starting tile has a different combination of 2 of those colors, but everyone has a grass and a water. So let's say this is ours, and if we gonna pick a new field, for example this one, now I can place it anywhere. There's no rule about doing something that matches, so it could be something terrible like that. This is valid, no problem. What is invalid is do not touch it. So when you're starting, your next one should be in one of these 4 positions. At the end of the game, your city and the city of each player is going to have a 3x3 field, unless you're playing a 2-player large version, and then you play with a 5-3 city. So it doesn't matter also that this one is in the middle. It could be here or even in the edge. There's no problem with it. Everything is valid. So now you know something about the fields. But if this is my starting tile, so let's say this was the one I've picked from over there, which one should I take? And it will depend especially in the common objectives, because the common objectives are kind of a race. So here each city gives us different objectives, and this one is the suggesting starting one. You should start always with this card, New York or Rio de Janeiro in Brazil.
Because it are easier targets.
Yes, or at least easier to understand. Then we have Lisboa, we have Barcelona, we have Sydney, and then we have Mexico City, Buenos Aires, and Venice. Each one with its characteristics. So here, Central Park. Central Park is a huge field. So whoever is the first to get 7 at least gardens together is going to claim 5 bonus points at the end by placing its ring. Then the second is going to get 3, the third is going to get 1. When you're playing 4 players, somebody's going to be with nothing. Okay, so you see this is extremely thematic, it's Central Park. Then we have the avenues. The first one to have something like that already has an avenue. It doesn't need buildings, it's just construction site. With another one,
Second Avenue,
it's 6 points or 4 or 2. The second avenue should be 2 vertical or 2 horizontal, there's no problem.
like in New York, right?
Then here, yes. Then here we're going to have the skyscrapers. And the skyscrapers gives more points because it's an objective that takes more time to get it. So you should have 4 different buildings of at least 3 high. And that's the right moment to explain you what is it. So let's say I'm going to grab something from here. I will collect all those tiles. It will be good because this is a lot of tiles. However, it will be a kind of a waste for me because I only have a construction site for green. I do not have for yellow, and I cannot keep it for later, so this is trash. So instead of this one, I might want to collect something else. And if I'm seeing that everyone is yellow, I do not know the random one, I may not go to collect one of these tiles. I couldn't take 2 on the same round. And I may go to here, because here maybe I got yellow
lucky
construction. I haven't. This is not lucky for this city. But for example, if we're playing Rio de Janeiro, that needs a lot of water, this would have been amazing. It's 5 already, I just need 7 to get the points. Okay, so that's how you work with tiles, and you know already how you work with buildings. The construction says which kind of building you can build, and you can't cross. So you start yellow, it's yellow forever.
All right.
Now let's see decorations. Decorations are over here, and you should pick one. You may pick those two, or these ones. What are to place in the water? So this is going to be placed here. Oh, this is not my starting one. Then garden things is going to be placed in the gardens. And this one turns each construction zone into a wild. Of course, it's just a wild for the kickoff, which means once you start in a color, you must proceed with the same color. And then there is a kind of statue that is this that you use in a construction. You avoid building in this place because this is a monument and it's worth 2 points at the end of the game. For what do you want those kind of decorations? The straightforward is the monument, the useful is this one, and the other ones you want to have at the same lake or at the same garden the 4 different kinds. And now you ask, what are the 4 different kinds? I was somewhere with cards. Where are the player rate cards? Oh, here. When I place the bag, I hide them. So there are 4 different ones for gardens and 4 different ones for lake. This is the quantity of each that you have over there. And here is how you score. So if you have the full set, is 10 points. If you have just 3, doesn't matter which 3, is 6 points. 2 is 3 and 1 is just 1. It works for gardens and it works for waters too. However, If you get a second one of the same kind, it's not good for you to place in the same garden because this is going to be useless. But if you have a different garden in your city, you may start a second set, which means you can have multiple sets. Okay, so we're just missing the cards by now. So we already spoke about those, not in Rio de Janeiro, but New York. Then we already say how to place and what you should have about the 3x3. Now you know the decorations and also the buildings. Let's say cards. If I grab this one, I'm going to get 1 point for each different area of water that I have, which means I might want this in Rio de Janeiro, but in this one, this would be better.
Sure.
And so on and so on. And you can have multiple ones, even of the same. So if I have another one like this, I would get 2 points per each lake. Then here, those are random ones. This means I'll get 2 points for each building of 3 height, and it doesn't matter the color. And this one gives me 1 point for each 2 squares of garden that I have together. So this is amazing with that mission, because this is a combo.
Yeah, also the height is a combo with New York, right?
The problem is that the height, and that's why it gives more points, needs a lot of buildings. So you can have a lot of gardens easily than a lot of buildings, because you always need the color to suit yours and always placing in the same ones. And there are cards that request, for example, that you have only size 1. So if you get this card over here, that it's a point for each yellow of 1, you just want several spots to build yellow. And that's it. At the end of the game, you convert all your cards in points, and we sum up the points of the target, the points of your statues, the points of your sets in the water and in the garden, and your cards. And whoever has the most, you already know what happens.
So that was Cities. You could first play it here at Essen. You could first buy it here at Essen with the promo of the city Essen.
Yeah.
Right. But later it will come out in Germany by Cosmos, and then it will be with German rules and German text on the cards.
Player aids also.
And perhaps with different cities. Who knows?
Who knows?
We will see. All right. Thanks for the explanation.